All right, being that it's 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting in order. We'll do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
of the United States of America,
States, one nation,
one nation, under God.
liberty and justice.
Liberty and justice.
Good. I can't through me.
You did good. I couldn't get through it.
All right, everybody's got the agenda in front of them. Is there any questions about the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Yeah,
Geez, I hope I don't.
yes.
3 times. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next up is the minutes. We are not going to approve the minutes because minutes have not been completed yet because Allison's been a little busy. So we'll go to public comment instead. Is there any public comment? No public comment, so we're going to go to appointments. We need to meet with our attorney, Susan Hanson. So is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 13D05 subdivision 1, attorney-client privilege to meet with attorney Susan Hanson regarding a pending employment claim?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll start to go into closed session. Commissioner Myrie made a motion to come out of closed session at 9:54. And Commissioner Schultz seconded that motion. And Carol, do you have a statement?
The county board met with attorney Susan Hanson pursuant to closed sessions pursuant to Minnesota statute 13D.05 subdivision 1, attorney-client privilege,
Ongoing negotiation.
ongoing employment.
All right. Moving on. We have nothing on the consent agenda today. So we'll be going to action item number 1, consider accepting low quote from Bluff Country Brine based on bids received March 19th, 2025. Brian.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. So for the liquid chloride for dust control this year, we received 4 bids. The low bid on for both the delivered by tanker truck to Caledonia or delivered and applied to various roads were both Bluff Country Brine for both of those. For this year, what we are looking at is for the county, 21,528 gallons at the delivered tanker truck to Caledonia. That's $32,076.72. That is what we like to do on the county side. There is also 11 townships that in total have 30,472 gallons. And I would like to work with the townships and Bluff Country Brine. Instead of having the county apply them, maybe it'll be more cost effective to have Bluff Country apply to the township roadways this year. So for the approval that I'm looking for is award the contract to Bluff Country Brine for a total estimated gallons of 52,000 gallons, knowing that some of those gallons might be delivered to Caledonia and the county applies, and some of them might be applied by Bluff Country Brine. So based on whatever is more cost effective on the roadway and coordination efforts. Usually what happens on the county roadways, if we had them applied, we still would have a staff with them to tell them where to start, where to stop, how much to apply at each location. So we would have a staff time either way if they applied to county roadways. So it's not gonna save us on the labor side, it would just save us on the equipment side. For the township roadways, if we applied it, we'd have our truck and our labor. With that, if Bluff Country Brine does it, we coordinate to get everything set up, but then from there, the township would have someone with, so they can save on county staff and county equipment to apply it at that additional 14 cents per gallon. So that's probably,
We're basically going to be just considering the low quote for the brine gallons.
yes.
What was the low quote? How much a gallon?
So for gallon delivered to Caledonia, $1.49 per gallon, and delivered and applied to roadways is $1.63 per gallon.
So they're putting, what'd they bid Wilmington?
I don't know.
$1.16 a gallon applied. But then the county had nothing to do with that, correct?
County has nothing to do with Wilmington's, yeah, so I have no idea what they've been quoted.
Be almost cheaper for us to hire them to put ours on.
To have Brian, have them put on the county chloride? But we're still gonna have to have a county person with them to.
To do the county roads, and the township will have their own guys go.
Right. But we'd have to have the county guy do the county road, so there's gonna have to be somebody with them to do that.
Yeah, or else come up with some good maps, like our township, we used to give out good maps, and that worked very well too. Or have somebody ride with them. So 1 year we did maps, 1 year we had somebody ride. It all depends on if somebody's got time.
The action item is for the low quote for the brine per gallon. So,
That was the lowest bid your way, so that makes sense.
Yep, the second lowest is 4 cents per gallon more for delivered, or 6 cents more per gallon delivered and applied. So Brine, Bluff Country is, about 3% below the second bid.
That being expressed, I'd make a motion to accept the Bluff Country Brine quote applied the way you said with us doing whatever.
well, just,
cost.
yeah, just the per gallon.
Right.
Is there a second to that?
That was at 164 a gallon, correct?
149 per gallon for delivered to Caledonia, 163 per gallon delivered and applied.
A
So we'll do it.
second.
Yeah, we'll do that combination.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. All right. Number 2, consider approving salt order through CPV. Brian?
Yep, so every year the state of Minnesota has a cooperative purchasing venture that we can purchase our salt through the state's cooperative purchasing venture, so MnDOT kind of coordinates this. They send out the notice to us and they give us 1 to 2 weeks to tell them if we want to be in it. This year we need to make that decision by April 7th, so we actually have longer this year than what we do most years. So we wouldn't need to approve that today, but I don't think it's going to change anything, so I'm going to recommend today that we approve putting on the bid for the same total quantity of salt next year is what we've ordered this year, which is 1,400 ton worth of salt. Some of them will be delivered we have 300 tons to Caledonia, 200 tons to Hoka, 500 tons to Houston, and 400 tons to Spring Grove. So quantity, what we do each year is, if we have a little bit of, we can underrun this quantity by 20%, or we can overrun it by 25%. So if we, at the same price, we don't know the price until it gets bid out. That's one of the disadvantages of this, is that we're gonna commit to purchasing 1,400 ton of salt, plus or minus 20%, without knowing what that dollar amount is gonna be until the bids get opened up in May. But if the state approves that contract, we're locked in. If the price is high, we'll try to to only order 80%. If we get a really good price, if we have place to store it, we'll try to, order closer to 125% at the end of the year. Storage for each year, what we do is we try to mix our sand and salt right away in the spring, get it all back in the sheds, get them filled up and ready for next fall, knowing that we'll need to order some stuff in the fall. But if we don't have enough place to have fully everything mixed, we'll take all the salts, we're not paying for any storage, and we will bury it someplace inside of our shed, so we have some pure salt in that shed, and then we'll take out of that pure salt when we need it, and we'll remix at that time. So we'll take this quantity, and we'll have place to store it, so we're not gonna be wasting it, we're not gonna be, paying someone to store it at, usually it's about $5 a ton per month, so. We have been on the state contract for I think basically every year I've been at the county. Prior to that, the county used to purchase salt on their own, but if you have a year when you have a salt shortage, the cost you pay for salt has been 3-4 times what it would be to be on the state contract. So being on that state contract overall has benefited the county.
So it ain't gonna get any cheaper, so I'll make a motion to order the salt.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? So do you take into account salt that's not used from the year before?
Yeah, so every time around this year, we haven't surveyed the piles, know exactly how much we have in there, but we definitely, we think about how much we used, and do we think we're gonna use more or less than last year? So I think this winter we probably used a little bit less than what last year's contract was, but with what we have in storage and knowing what's happened historically, this 1,400 ton of salt is a reduced volume compared to what we used to order. We used to order over 2,000 ton each year. So, we have capacity to store a little bit more. So, and then if we have a normal winter, rather than these last couple winters that have had a little bit less snow, we'll use it all up and we still have enough salt in storage so we can not run out.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3, consider approving the 2025-2027 labor agreement between the County of Houston and LAW Enforcement Labor Services Incorporated, local number 60. Jailers dispatchers.
All right, so this contract was previously negotiated and was just kind of out there in a holding pattern, waiting for some signatures and then also approval from the board to officially adopt it for the 2025 through 2027. This was sent to the county attorney. She did review it, and I think we're good to go with that. We're just looking for the board to officially approve this one for this next 3 years.
I'll make a motion to approve that one.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Number 4, consider approving 2025-2027 labor agreement between the County of Houston and LAW Enforcement Labor Services Incorporated, local number 415, Lieutenants Union.
Yes, so this is the lieutenant union, similar as the last one. It was previously negotiated. It was just kind of out there in orbit, waiting to get put together to get approved. Everything looks good in it. It's, again, sent to the county attorney. County attorney has reviewed it and looking for approval.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Number 5, consider approving 2025-2027 labor agreement between the County of Houston and Minnesota Association of Professional Employees Union, pending county attorney review and approval.
Yeah. Again, lastly, this is the same thing. It's already previously negotiated. I've been back and forth with their representative to figure out their signatures. So I'm still kind of waiting back on that for him to get signatures on their end. And then once that happens, then I'll bring it for you to sign, and then through the county attorney. There was some formatting issues that we did work through, got cleaned up, sent it to the county attorney. Again, she reviewed it, and she's good to go with that. So
Okay.
this one may not be exactly signed right away, because we're still waiting for the representatives' signatures to come to us.
All right. Hence the pending review.
Yep.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Number 6, consider approving the memorandum agreement with ASME
Thanks, Brett.
Local Union 2166, MOA attached. Carol.
So this actually has to do with an employee down in the license center who was hired at a step 1, and it became fairly obvious that after a review of different hirings that I went through, that she maybe wasn't probably hired at the correct step, being step 1. We had adjusted James Sweet in this similar fashion in 2024, when it became apparent that the compensation for the skill level, for the abilities, wasn't what we had hired them at. Not asking to go back to the hire date, but just to actually move, rather than step 2 for this employee to be at step 3. Effective January
First of the year, I assume.
January
January
2nd,
2nd.
it says.
Okay.
It's on there. She's a pretty amazing employee for what she does down there.
That was brought to
It was, yeah,
here last week, and everything appeared to be the way it should be done, the way Carol just described with that.
How long was that person in her role before?
she was hired last January 2nd.
Oh, okay, so just a year.
At step 1, which we hire, we hire social workers at step 1, fresh out of school. This is an employee that had considerable number of years of customer service, computer programs. She adapted extremely well to the to the environment down there as another example.
With that information provided, I'd make a motion to approve the memorandum agreement with that local union 2166.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7, consider approving donations to the Extension Testmers Farm Safety Day for a total of $4,735. This is something that we get donations for, that happens in May, Farm Safety Days, so it's a good program we teach the 4th graders farm safety, along with other things, not just necessarily for the farm, so. It's a good event. It's held at the county fairgrounds, so.
Nice donation.
A lot of community support.
Yes, a lot of a lot of businesses and community support for this, so.
The list is actually in there this time.
Yep.
I'll make a motion. I'm involved with that, and we go cooking.
That cattlemen's put on a good feed. Yep.
We do that, and then there's a lot of stuff out there you can learn, ambulance and EMT stuff. I mean, it's
Great.
My Energy has a thing there for,
a really good deal.
yep. All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Can I ask what the date is on that? Maybe the media can throw it in there.
Oh, I think I got a thing here. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Might be May 12th, I'm not positive.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I got a notice on that.
Thank you.
If I find out, I'll let you know.
Number 8, consider approving opioid fund expenditures based on the recommendation of the local opioid settlement collaborative. John.
Morning.
Good morning.
So I'll give you just a little bit of background on this. We've done a few of these before, but you've probably heard or read about opioid settlements. Those dollars go to counties. We had to put it in a separate fund. So when you look at finance, it's in Fund 12. Public health is required to be kind of the convener of a community group that decides where these opioid settlement dollars go to. That group has convened, and we've brought forward a couple of grants for opioid and addiction-related programs in the past. And so this is one of those. One thing I'd say is we are looking for a commissioner to serve on that. So if anybody is interested in opioids or what we're doing with that group, it's not a particularly heavy lift. We meet quarterly. Yeah. So and the last time we met virtually, but anyway, just a little commercial for that. I'm going to turn it over to Jordan and Bree to talk about the proposal that we have in front of you here today.
Hello again, guys. I love coming to see you. This week, I am coming to you because the Sheriff's Department has sent in an application to fund an Apex R7 Raman spectrometer. So it's this thing. Sorry, it's super small, but I know some of you are law enforcement or past law enforcement, so you maybe have heard of it, but this is a pocket-sized device that is used to determine what substance is in a container. So oftentimes they'll maybe have to open the container or do some other method for testing, which is really dangerous for law enforcement. And we want to keep them as safe as possible because it's really important. So this device is something that can like scan the substance through a clear container, so like baggie or even like a Ziploc container. And it can read up to 24,000 substances. So it'll hopefully identify any of illegal substances that could be harmful, saving our law enforcement. And it has an app that like downloads the information to their phones. The law enforcement or the deputies, all 40 of them will be able to utilize this program. And the company that they are getting this device from, they have an online portal. So if we were to get a new deputy coming in or something like that, they'll have access to the training to be able to be onboarded and utilize this program, even after the initial purchase. So they're asking to purchase this system with the training and online portal for $39,777.85. So it's kind of a big ask up front, but I think that the return on the investment is going to be significant. And with this, we've asked them to partner with public health. So when they've identified maybe someone has substance use disorder because of the identification of the substances, that after criminalization or anything like that, that they're referred out to a program in our community so that we can get them the help they need with those substances and any abuse they may have. So that's something we're working on our side, and we're working with Hiawatha Valley Mental Health to do that, so that they can have packets to hand out to people at the jail.
39,000, how many machines does that include, or?
I'm not sure if it includes just one machine or not, because I didn't get to see their exact net 30. But I do know that all 40 deputies get to utilize the machine, so I would assume that more than one machine is being purchased. But I can clarify if you would like that answer.
We'll have 40 deputies.
Yeah, I'd like to know if we gotta buy 40 or if.
Are you talking about the jailers also?
I don't know, just in their application, they put that 40 individuals can utilize this system.
I assume it'd be the jailers and the deputies.
Maybe
No,
its
it may be city.
capability has 40 users on it or something too. I don't know what
Sounds
that.
more
yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
Is that something that the local departments will be able to utilize as well?
So we brought this one to you first. I've only received an application from the sheriff's department, but I would like to expand this and reach out to the local police department so that they can have this
Well,
opportunity.
jailers, deputies, and city officers countywide would equal 40.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not 40 jailers and dispatchers and deputies. 14 deputies.
That would make kind of more numbers.
Right.
And then the funding for that, that's all through this program?
Opioid.
Yes.
It's all from the opioid settlement fund, and I think that has a balance. Do you know what the current balance on that?
It's still a six-figure balance.
300, I mean, our RFP process, our community group that we've determined set a budget. So projects can range between, zero to roughly 60,000 is what we kind of determined for the RFP process, and we're doing 60,000 just quarterly. And this is the only one we got from January till the next run of this. So this fits within the budget that the group has created for the opioid fund.
It's in the range.
So
Yes.
the total funding available, 126,630. But
Correct.
is that for that particular quarter, or what? I'm hearing different numbers. So this 39 would come out of that 126?
Correct, because 126 is what we budgeted for a yearly budget.
An annual, okay.
The idea with the group was not to spend all the money up front, and so they kind of hit some targets so that we could use this money over a longer period of time.
Good.
And
The opioid funds do run over 18 years. We'll get settlement dollars for the
Right.
next 18 years. So this group will continue to evaluate budgets on a yearly basis. But the thing that we've determined this year is 126 for the 4 terms. of RFPs.
The nice thing about that program is it doesn't affect the local levy dollars.
Does this, does the price for this unit or units include education or training on it?
Yes, they get access to that online portal through the company that they purchase it through.
Good.
And then it will be communicated if they need additional costs, or they could resubmit another RFP or continue to ask for additional funding too with that piece. So it'd be a reoccurring too, depending on how the RFP process.
For me, not being involved in law enforcement, but I think that sounds like a good tool to have. To identify substances and.
Especially with the fentanyl and some of the other dangers that are out there right now.
Exactly.
I will say that's exactly what the collaborative group did.
Yeah.
They pushed this through to ask for your approvals so that they've already.
One thing, you could use that before the canine gets there. If it's a really bad deal,
This would be more of, for evidentiary wise, when we're handling different things.
Yeah.
Just eliminates us taking it out of the bay, exposing ourselves.
Exposing yourself to dangerous.
This is like a tool you see used at the airports a lot, so this is a great deal.
Which is why we also asked for the education piece or the referral piece that public health can take a part in. We're doing that because part of this, the settlement funding is to support and to help
Sure.
establish and provide that piece of it. So the partnership will be a great opportunity for us too with this.
will you be able to detect the fentanyl before you even get close to it?
Sounds great.
apparently, I learned through this process, it takes very little exposure to have a fentanyl incident where a law enforcement officer could open something and get enough exposure that way that they're needing Narcan.
You've seen videos of that happening.
Right, and so this would prevent that, and through training, through law enforcement, they'd have a tool where they wouldn't have to put themselves at risk that way.
As a farmer, I'd like to have that tool to identify weeds in my fields. You know,
You can
that'd
get
be
an app
handy.
for that. That's like a thing.
So you don't touch it?
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
It's a great tool.
All right.
Not a benefit for the commissioners. Right now.
I mean, somebody had to ask.
We don't know.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Opioid Fund 12, I would second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
One last thing I'd note is this was a proposal that was put together and presented by the sheriff's office, not public health.
Oh.
So I want to make sure that you guys know that the idea and the impetus behind it was from our sheriff's office.
Yep.
Good.
And we thank them for that.
And they can use it.
All right, anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Number 9, consider reviewing and approving payments. Everybody's seen the list in the packet of the payments to be considered and approved for. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Payments approved. Moving on to discussion items. Discussion, number 1, Administrator. Do you have anything, Carol, you'd like to bring up?
Just, keeping an eye on legislature to see where things might fall, how we might be affected. Bobby is trying to get a virtual meeting together of local, the county administrators in this area. So,
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about counties having to take on the extra cost of some of these programs, and it's gonna affect their budgets big time, so. The governor did release a second version of his budget. There's gonna be more cuts in that as well. So it's hard to believe that we had $18 billion surplus and now we're in a $6 billion deficit. But that's what happens when you spend it all, I guess. But board updates. Only thing I wanted to bring up is that I attended a modern ag luncheon, and it was put on by Farm Bureau and the corn growers, and it was actually in a neighboring county, Winona County. It was not that far from me. It was in Waitoka, but they handed out these food and farm facts. It was a very good program. Talked about the value of agriculture in our region, and it was a good meeting. I wish we could have something like that in Houston County as well. Maybe we could collaborate and have a multi-county situation. But it was a good meeting. I just shared that with you guys. I think you got one back here on the table, maybe. Congratulations to Allison.
Yay.
Yeah. So.
Anybody not know that you got married?
everybody knows.
She was gone for a while and got married, so that's good.
Grand Canyon, and then, what a trip.
Yep. Okay. Commissioner Wright, do you have anything you want to?
Yes. Speaking of funding and ongoing needs, Workforce Board is working with the legislation at the Capitol this week to fund the Minnesota Youth Program, which is the work experience, career counseling benefit that our local schools and businesses have for youth. So trying to make sure that that is not, the funding is not cut for that. Also, I have a Stelco meeting tonight, but that is with the federal support for libraries to ensure the funding continues. That's another effort that we're writing letters and making sure that legislators know that's a need for our area. That's it.
Commissioner Zender.
Good finance meeting this morning. Payments in, payments out, nothing to get really excited about there. Judy sent an email regarding the indoor mapping grant. We had to give money back. They didn't get it spent. I was at the RAC meeting in Rochester the last time I was over there. We got another one come up in April. Now there's a $7 million grant, which is gonna be allocated here next month, and they're thinking they're gonna get the money for that to continue with this indoor mapping. Basically what it is we're like active shooter stuff. It's mapping out to give to our dispatch exactly where something's happening inside for instance, they'll start with schools and then can do malls, churches, banks, businesses, I mean, what have you. So it's a safety benefit, so we'll see where the grant goes. But I look forward to next month to see where we're gonna be with that, so that'll be another good meeting.
Good. Commissioner Schultz?
No, I had a little bit busier we had our solid waste meeting, got to talk some good trash.
Trash is a nice word.
But in that, they're actually updating their management plans, so we got a work group session that I gotta attend on the 23rd. And then, we're hoping to have that put together by our next meeting in June, so. One of the things that they brought out at that, and I was surprised by the volume of a product that they actually recycle there. Of the chemicals and stuff like that, everything from fertilizer to cleaning supplies and that, and it's all free. So if anyone's looking or in that area, kind of where the recycling center is behind the rehome shop there on Alaska, they've got a room that's open to the public that it's all free. Most of a lot of it's brand new. You know, everything from lawn fertilizers to spray cleanings to you name it, and we could actually see out the window where our meeting was. What's that?
Antifreeze?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but possibly. But I bet there was probably 8, 9 people in the 2 hours that they came and went there, and everybody left with something. So.
That's by the Restore, right?
Yeah, it's kind of behind the Restore in the La Crosse County, but little plug for them there. We did have department head meeting. Everything's going pretty good with everyone. The sheriff did point out about the Alice training that the county's doing, that it sounds like the slots are filling up fast and that they may possibly look at a third slot. So,
He is doing a third one for sure.
is he? Okay, so.
For what? For what?
They are full.
Alice training?
For Alice training.
Oh, yes.
So that'll be a nice security training for the county. We had land use this morning. Everything's going pretty well there for everybody. There was no major concerns. April 1st, we have the Township Association spring meeting that they're hoping to have good representation from the commissioners and the township officials. I know Brian's got a few things he's gonna talk about with signage and whatnot. That's a hot topic with some of the townships, but so hopefully we can move forward with that.
Did you say that was at 5 PM? We know the time on that?
7.
7, okay,
Hour and a half,
Later in
right?
the
7 to
evening,
8:30.
so.
okay.
And that is in, I believe, the basement of the
Justice Center, yep.
April 1st. And then we got some more of our last union negotiation coming up here at the end of the week, so
Okay.
hopefully.
Commissioner Myrie?
Richard Cordes cornered me the other day. They were interested in putting some stuff in the old jail if we'd let them lease or rent the old jail to store some stuff in.
Who's this?
Richard Cordes from the museum.
Oh, the Historical Society?
And they got some stuff that people wanna give them, but we got no place to go with it. So they were wondering if they could put it in the old jail. Has anybody been in that old jail? Can you get in there? Is it clean? Anybody have any idea what it looks like?
Oh, Bob Burns and I were in there last year, I believe. We did a tour through it.
Can they store stuff in there or not?
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's something we need to have a more discussion on.
Probably depends on what it is.
Right.
If it's
Yeah, he
documents
said
or,
it's some old tables and chairs.
oh, furniture?
He said nothing worth much value. He said it's, if something happens to it, he said,
I know they're running out of space they're getting a lot of donations that they have to turn away a lot, so.
I just told him I'd bring it to the board and see what you guys thought. Maybe we should check with Carol said we should check with our insurance. See if there's any problems with doing it that.
Yep. Definitely have to do that. Anything else?
Oh, and then I guess I I attended the town board meeting in Wilmington last Thursday night. They lifted their moratorium. They went with, you can build, anybody can build now, and they went to an 1,800 animal cap on livestock and 1,000 animal cap on pork, swine,
And chickens?
nothing on chickens. But with them statuses, you could have 1,800 head of cattle on this farm, and you could have like custom feeders. They could have 1,800 on this farm.
1,800 animal units, right, per feedlot.
Yep. And then,
1,000 animal units on swine.
would be 4,000 pigs.
What's that increase from? Is that double? Is it? I don't remember.
It's not
what
an
it was.
increase, it's a cap. So,
First time we ever had one.
I thought the cap was less, though, is what I'm saying.
no, we don't have a cap in Houston
Oh.
County.
Okay,
Like 1,000
They were-
pigs, there's, like one pig is a quarter of a
Yep.
animal unit. And the cow would be
yep,
like 1,800, you'd probably have 1,500 milk cows,
okay.
because they're a little heavier.
Mm-hmm.
An animal unit is 1,000 pounds.
So they've actually just put in the caps.
They put in a cap. Wood Township
Got it.
made their more restrictive than the county.
And it's an open cap too. If there's a problem, they said they would take a look at it.
So are they having a board of adjustment to review things like that, or?
Nope, they're just gonna have their cap, and if anybody comes into the zoning office and wants to build a setup bigger than 1,800 head, then they gotta go to Wilmington. Get the okay.
Okay.
I figured that would be the easiest way to do that. Cause they don't wanna lose the zoning, they want Houston County to do the zoning, so.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Airport meeting.
Oh yeah, we have an airport
We
meeting
got an airport meeting Wednesday,
this Wednesday, right? 3:00?
3:00. Ryan's office.
Yeah, we have a planning commission meeting Thursday night. We only have one item up for discussion, so. Still working on solar ordinances, having some back and forth with the county attorney, land use attorney to look at comparable zoning ordinances in other counties, so that work is being done as we speak, so. Trying to get something ready to go here before July.
Got our recycling day coming up too.
That's April 26th, I believe.
9:00.
Yep. In Houston.
Hazardous waste and whatnot.
Yep.
Antifreeze.
You do fluorescent bulbs that day?
Can we also look at, we talked at
bulbs.
one meeting, I think, Brian, about having an ordinance, or not an ordinance, but just a agreement for tree planting within the cities, and we were gonna have some type of a plan developed for that?
Yep, so I put together a draft policy.
Okay,
It is ready to go to the office for review.
okay.
So I know she's been busy, so that's the next step,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Just thinking of spring, time to plant, yep. Great.
Anything else? Closing public comment.
There he is.
State your name and address, please.
Bob Burns, Caledonia. A report on SEMCAC, your SEMCAC board report. The last meeting, the discussions that were had as far as senior meals and senior nutrition, they have expanded from 23 to 24 by about 20%, so that there are more people participating. They're expanding that program to also include Orinoco on the north side of the city of Rochester. They're gonna bring that into the senior nutrition. They're adding a kitchen as far as fixing those flash frozen meals to take some of the pressure off some of the other kitchens that they have within the 7-county area. The biggest problem that they have right now is with regard to the weatherization program. The feds cut funding to the state that then cut funding to the SEMCAC program. So weatherization is down some funding, so they're backing off on doing some weatherization programs and, making sure that the roofs don't leak and prioritizing their weatherization program. There is a new facility being built in Austin, that they bought the property, and we're planning on starting to build the new facility this early summer, but because of a soil contamination issue, they're having to go through the decontamination of the soil, so that's backing off that program for the construction until hopefully fall, depends on how much contamination they come up against. Otherwise, it's like you were talking earlier, the state of Minnesota funding that they're getting is kind of dependent upon how much the federal dollars are cut. So we're waiting to see on that. Are going up and talking to our legislators as far as making sure we're trying to maintain the funding for the low income, the housing, the food, and make sure that we don't have to shortfall those people that are in need as far as food needs and housing needs.
So what, in housing, is there anything going on in that front with SEMCAC?
There is housing that people are getting grants for yet. I mean, that $100,000 that we've got in Houston County is not yet used up, so that there's still a little availability as far as some of that funding is concerned. And Fillmore County's used up virtually all of theirs. They're still working with people as far as providing housing and whatnot. I know of one particular case where a person from Caledonia couldn't find housing, so they ended up putting that person in La Crosse, kind of a interstate relocation, and just helping people find locations to live and whether it's short-term or long-term.
Okay,
That's the end of my
all right. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Any other closing public comment? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I got one more thing before we adjourn, if that's all
Sure,
right.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was at a meeting, Spring Grove City Council. They're thinking about buying a building over there for a daycare. It's the old Gnomes, the old daycare, the one they had there down by the school. And the city is thinking about buying it, and they want to know if the townships and the county would get involved. Well, I told them to talk to Allison, and I don't know if they have or what, but,
So it's my understanding that there's a public meeting coming up. I'll get the date so we can announce it here. They're gonna discuss many different topics and decide what is gonna be a priority for the EDA. And it could very well be childcare, is my understanding, because I got the email, I just got an email on it.
yeah, it has to do with childcare because they want to purchase that building.
The city wants to purchase it?
Yeah, or get a cooperative group together or something. We're just looking at options.
Would they continue to use it as a daycare?
Yeah.
So
Who would
there's
be
a
running it?
There's a public notice out there for a city workshop. It's titled EDA Daycare Task Force Chamber Real Estate Investors Spring Grove Forward Spring Grove School. And it says the Spring Grove City Council will hold a workshop with the EDA Daycare Task Force, Spring Grove Area Chamber of Commerce, Spring Grove Real Estate Investors, Spring Grove School, and Spring Grove Forward on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. This will be held at the Spring Grove Fest Building, 110 South Division Avenue, Spring Grove, Minnesota. This workshop will focus on planning, developing, and implementing strategies to move forward with the to-be-determined top priorities projects within the city. So they don't know what the priorities will be yet. I do plan on attending that meeting though, and it's open to the public if anyone wants to attend.
I think I'm gonna attend, and I think Brett maybe should come too. You can, just so we got all our ducks in an order, and if they come to us with something, you guys might have the answers.
Volunteer. untold right there.
Has that property been sold? It was gonna be
Hudson
on,
Bank owns it.
thought it was gonna be on sheriff's auction.
I believe the bank still owns it.
Oh, okay.
I was told Hudson Bank owns it, yeah.
It's probably what they're looking for investors and.
I don't think that the
Purchasing.
reserve was met, but I don't know that for a fact,
There's a lot of things we don't know yet.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, everybody.